And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your
We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans.
What can you do for your country? JFK. JFK, everybody.
You can vote sometimes.
Yes, well, yeah, we'll see if that counts. I mean, well, you know me. Like, I'm like, oh boy, I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. I hope the story is real. I hope it's,
You hope
not
the
just a bunch
story.
of
What are you talking about?
voting. I hope it matters. I
Oh.
hope it counts. I hope it's like real. I hope it's not just going into the ether and then they just go, okay, yeah, sure, here you go.
I feel like there's people paying more attention this time. Because I've already seen several headlines about election workers being arrested because they were tampering with shit.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, you were talking about fires and shit, right?
Yeah, well, there's this one too. I think it happened today. Ballot drop boxes with completed votes have just been set on fire in Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon.
You know my theory on that? They're
What's your
going to disrupt Democrat stronghold areas. So they're going to burn those votes to make an argument that we can't trust the election results. That's just
So
one
they're
of many
going
things that I
to
thought of.
sabotage themselves in order to say this is illegitimate.
Yeah, can't be trusted. Or
I mean,
you could just and it gives you you can be the victim. It gives you an out to blame it on a Trump supporter, right? So who would vote Democrat ballots, right? A Trump supporter.
Yes, but also I can see it because it's a stronghold, but not all of those votes are going to be Democratic.
Exactly, but I mean, you could conclude, you can assume or infer, whatever your word is, that a majority of those votes would have went to Kamala.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like if you're burning, because in Vancouver, Washington, I haven't looked in a while, but I'm going to take a gander under this flock and say, ooh, that looks pretty Democratic under there. Stinky. Let's put that away. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably. I can see the sabotage route. I could see that.
Yeah.
But then
it just makes him a victim.
But then also, I don't even think it has to be like a self-sabotage. I think it just has to be disruption.
Yeah, chaos will reign.
Yeah, and there's going to be more weird shit. It's fucking next week.
I know, dude. Like, I was actually just thinking about this. Like, today is Q Day for all those, if you want to call them Q-tards out there, you know what I mean? Like, those people that still follow Q. I think all that shit is real. I think it's going to happen. I think that, like...
Really?
I think it's more a method of revelation. You know, it's more... goes into the occult realm. I think that whole Q stuff was way more occulty than people realized. I don't think it was all just, like, patriots in control. Like, I think it's more in depth than that.
Okay.
But the very first post on those 4chan boards was today. So everybody's saying it's like, it's that day. But... that first post talks about Hillary Clinton being extradited and all that shit. So we'll see if that's a secret that maybe someone was talking about.
Well, yeah. So jump into that. So Trump during his rally in New York at Madison Square Garden, which was fucking packed, by the way.
They're always packed, dude.
It was always packed, but it looked
packed.
like it was funny because like Hulk Hogan was out there, obviously. And he was up on stage going, ooh.
He's going, look at my boner. Oh, Hulk. Hurl.
And
you want to see my hair?
It was funny because he said I've been in this arena so many times, brother, and this energy doesn't match any of them.
Hell no, I feel it.
But it was a packed house. That I mean yes, he always has a shit ton of people at his rallies, but to have a packed house at Madison Square Garden in New York, like a huge fucking blue state, Like that's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, well, you could have people traveling from out of state too to go see it, but
True.
I just like Trump is like at rock star level where he will sell out arenas. There's going to be people watching from outside the arenas. You know what I mean? So it's like that doesn't shock me because wherever he goes, he's going to like sell it out. You know?
True. Well, during his speech, he turned to I don't know if I can't remember if he actually mentioned him or not.
Do you have a clip of it?
I do have a clip of it. He was, from what I understand, he's talking to Matt Gaetz, who is standing off stage.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells them that they have a good chance of winning the Senate and the House, especially after their little secret or something like that. But they'll wait to tell us after the race is over. So I don't know what that means, but here he is saying that part.
Because we can take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over. Because we can take...
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Hillary's arrested, dude. That's all it could mean. Duh.
I mean, what kind of little secret could you have that is going to have a big impact to bring that up as if that would be the reason why you'd win both House and Senate?
Right? So let's see. What would impact people voting for Republicans to get them into the House? Right? Because like he said, like we got the Senate, but then our secret's really going to help the House votes.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Michelle has a dick. So Big Mike. Hillary's arrested. Or what else could it be? Jimmy Carter's going to die.
No, I don't think Jimmy Carter has any fuck.
That won't get votes in. No.
That won't get votes.
Maybe something with Haiti. Maybe like the black vote, the black population will start swinging towards Republicans.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like obviously he's talking about winning the House and the Senate. So whatever this little secret is, it's going to either come out or happen before the election.
Yeah.
So
maybe something to do with zoning, you know, like realistically, maybe something to do with like getting like this zoning approved for electoral colleges and all that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. But you'd think there'd be documentation of that happening and people already be talking about it.
Yeah, it's not really a secret, you know.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird thing to say to me. Like obviously,
it is a very strange thing.
So either somebody's holding on to some information that's about to be released this next week, or something they know something is going to happen.
Yeah,
that is going to be very polarizing.
I think we're gonna see a cyber attack. You're gonna see hints of it, I think, throughout this week, and then next Tuesday it'll be the big unplug.
You think so?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like that's going to happen, dude. We're going to see like little hiccups this week to give us like this forewarning, little shock. And then we're going to have the big aftershock type of thing next week.
No, I'll say no.
Also,
I'll go ahead.
Also, I think Diddy might die next week.
I did see something about there was something going on in the cell block he was in.
Yeah, they have a federal investigation on the actual prison itself. So they came in as this quote safety and health advisory type of thing, you know, as they always do, saying, "Hey, we're here to help you." But meanwhile, I think they're trying to set the foundation here for a Diddy murder. I think that they're putting some weapons in some people's hands, maybe a cell phone or two.
So did they already do this thing, or are there agents like at the prison?
They're out there now. So they're there. They started today. I don't know when they're going to be out, but yeah, I think he's going to die next week. And I feel like that's going to be a big distraction, like not distraction, like it shouldn't be paid attention to, because I feel like because his trial isn't until May. And you have all of these accusations still coming out. There was like a 10-year-old boy that came out today. You know, it's just like getting real nasty.
Yeah.
So he's saying that he wants to testify. I say they pull the plug on his ass way before that happens.
Maybe.
Or, and I also, because it is Q Day, I think Q comes back next week. Yep. I don't know. I've said that before, and I've been fucking absolutely wrong. So
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. I don't think a Diddy thing, him dying, is gonna be big news, but I don't think that is going to. Obviously, that's not gonna affect any kind of election or anything. That's not gonna do it. Like it could distract from like something else that may happen, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know what's gonna happen, and
well,
that's
so
kind of why
why
this is kind of exciting right now because like
yeah,
nobody knows.
You're going to have a buildup of all these inputs, right? You're going to have all these stories inputting into one mind, and that mind has to pay attention to one of them, at least one of them. Because multitasking, yeah, I don't know how many people can do that. But there's going to be an overwhelming influx of stories, I feel like, of just all of this stuff happening. But because it's the purpose is to get the topics off the election, right?
Yeah.
If something gets done and it is to let's just say call into question the results, then I feel like there's going to be something that's purposefully there to take our minds off of that. You know?
Maybe.
Just like last year, there was January 6th. There was a big buildup up until January 6th.
Yeah, but that's not really to take stuff off the election. That was more of the inauguration shit. And
yeah, but
it
turned the table of conversation into insurrectionists, and it turned the table into, hey, we have the power to come after your ass now, and we're going to imprison you. And like all these Jan 6ers that, you know, I still feel like Trump could have pardoned with a overwhelming just blanket pardon. I feel like he might not wanted to do that though, because there might be some people that do deserve to be in prison.
Well, yeah, for sure there is.
You know, like the people actually causing the insurrection.
I'm more worried that, say Trump wins, I'm more worried that there's going to be the fucking summer of love happening, and there's crazy shit about gonna go down, and probably worse than it was.
Summer of jizz.
and I was telling this to my wife the other day. I was like, "Fuck!" I just realized that the election's gonna happen, and if shit goes fucking sideways, we're not gonna be at home.
What do you mean?
We're gonna be up there where you are.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're gonna be up here the first week, huh?
Yeah, the 1st through the 8th.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you can. We'll have to get together with our guns and just go back to back, dude, and walk down the street.
Yeah. Well, because I'm thinking like, fuck, man. If shit does go haywire, say there's a fucking cyber attack and there's shit is like all out fucking craziness. How the fuck are we gonna get home?
Yeah.
I mean, we could drive, I guess. We could steal a car and drive.
I would bring cash just in case. Like, I don't know, like enough for a week at least.
Yeah.
But like, I'm imagining not being able to use a credit card or a debit card, and just like chaos, dude. Because like, how do you get the public to kind of freak out and kind of? And we've talked about this numerous times. It's like, what are you more? What do you care more about? Feeding your family, getting food for your family, gas, all this shit, or the election, right? Like the immediate needs will always outweigh the election results, and so they're going to like cause some chaos where people have to focus on the immediate needs.
Oh, what if somebody declares martial law? Like there's chaos happening around the election, like before it's even over, maybe. Before a winner has been announced, and things go crazy, and then martial law is declared.
I don't see that happening before the winner gets announced, but I could definitely see, like, if there is no cyber attack, there will be some chaos that will reign with the, like, if Trump wins, dude, there might be like it might be the winter of love. You know what I mean? That dark winter that Biden was talking about. Yeah. And then you would have the martial law come in, and then you have that new DOD directive, that 5402.01 or whatever the hell it was.
Oh yeah, where they can use deadly force against any combative, even if they're citizens. I mean.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's one of those things where you feel like that's always kind of the case. Where if you got a military guy with a gun, and then you have some dude who's like freaking out, and he's a civilian, and he's going the extra mile, and he's posing a danger, he's going to get shot. So I always felt like that was always on the board. So
yeah.
I mean, just because it's written into the law, I feel like the spirit of that was always an option, you know?
But yeah, if you're an immediate threat, you're gonna get taken out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I feel like that's more of like insurrection. So if you have somebody that doesn't agree with the election results and they're leading a militia to overthrow the government, what do? You know? Because there's going to be a large portion of the country that agrees with it, and then a large portion of the country that doesn't agree with it. And how do you calm this before it swells into a gigantic mess?
yeah, I don't know. But I see if it gets that far, I see fucking what is that movie, Red Dawn? That kind of thing happening where it's like militiamen of the country or just the citizen army or whatever.
Except for this time it's Red Dawn, D-O-N. Okay, we got Donald Trump out there leading the
Red
charge.
Dawn.
Yeah, dude. He's out there like, come on, guys, grab your weapons.
I don't think he'd be leading anything like that. If that kind of shit was actually to start going down, and you want to be the commander in peace,
Yeah.
You're not going to be taking sides for sure.
I know, for sure. Like this has to be like without his approach. Like he has to be the bystander, being like, "Whoa, I didn't do any of this,"
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You know, he has a secret with Matt Gaetz, but someone else had a secret, and that was Tim Waltz, and that came out today that he had this secret fling with the daughter of a top Chinese communist official during his teaching stint in China.
Imagine that.
So apparently this is coming from Daily Mail First. I think they broke the story this morning, right? It's like one of these October surprises. He had this romance with Jenna Wang, the daughter of a CCP official, in 1989. She said her father, Bin Hui, would disown her for fraternizing with a Westerner.
Why was her name Jenna Wang, but her dad was Ben Hui?
I don't know. Huh. Very, very interesting. Maybe that's his first and middle name. I don't know. I don't know how it works, dude. But she's 59 years old right now. And she called the, I know that I have another article up here. She called the New York Post saying that this relationship with him brought her to the brink of suicide.
What?
Yeah, they had a phone interview with her today. She had fallen head over heels with the now Minnesota governor when she was a young high school English instructor. And this is when they were in China. And Wang expected the passionate affair to end, but instead it resulted in a breakup that made her considering taking her own life.
Oh, there they are, right there. Boom.
Yep. Bada bing, bada boom. But it brings into this whole question, like, you know, it's just like Fang Fang, you know, like
Yeah.
Fang Fang doing the bang bang, that guy banging the freaking communist spy, Chinese spy. You know, Dianne Feinstein having the Chinese spy as her limo driver for many, many years. Now you have this Minnesota governor who's going to be the VP, potentially, sleeping with the daughter of a CCP officer.
He was sleeping with the daughter of a CCP officer in 1989.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. So it was old news, and that's why I'm like, dude, is this like, even if this is real, is this pertinent right now?
Now, if they were to release this along with like proof of continuation relationships with CCP people, that
could be tomorrow's news.
That would be a different thing.
Right? That could be. Think about it. Like if they're starting this whole week with Monday, we come out with a story that there was a relationship. Tuesday, we come out with the story that
Continued
this
connections.
relationship was continued and it just ended like not too long ago. Or you have something like this where in this New York Post article, I don't know if it says this in the Daily Mail, but it says that Walsh so he sent Wang letters after returning to the U.S. over the following summer and even asked for a passport-size photo of her to be sent back to Denver. She said that this was implying that Walsh was helping her obtain a visa. So maybe he was getting her into the country. I don't know if she ever did get into the country, but...
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it kind of it's just like, it's politics, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just, at this point, like, if he, back in 1989, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm saying.
Like, yeah, it's probably not good that it's not a good look, obviously, but it's going to have no effect. And unless, like we said, there's later proof that, like, some kind of relationship either with her or with the CCP because of her continued on afterwards, that would be a different thing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering if they're going to eventually come out with, you know, and we can speculate, but to me, this is like a nothing burger for now.
Yeah.
It does set like the precedence that maybe he definitely has a thing.
Some Chinese connections.
Yeah, he has a thing for the Chinese
that
women
may
there.
go
So
way back. Yeah,
I don't know.
Man.
We'll see where this goes, dude.
I just don't trust the guy. There's people coming out earlier or this week saying that they think he's gay.
Oh yeah, I could see that. That's what I thought the secret was that Trump was going to release.
Oh, that he was gay. That Walsh was gay.
Walsh is gay. I'm going to win the House.
Maybe that's why he dated a chick named Wang.
That's what I'm saying. The next best thing. If you can't have Wang, you can have a lady named Wang. You know? And then he can tell everybody, "Hey guys, I got to go home and get the Wang.
I gotta
I
gotta get that Wang tonight."
Yep. Oh, I got to go please some Wang.
Who knows? This is just, yeah, okay. I mean, our headline hit job. I mean, sure. But
well, I guarantee, because this is saying he married Gwen Whipple. That sounds like a stripper name.
Oh, a little bit.
She was a teacher. That's his wife, I guess, in 1994. And he never crossed paths with Wang again, who immigrated to Europe several years later, where she now works as a teacher, translator, and cultural mediator. So I'm wondering if there's going to be news that comes out that he actually had an affair with this woman, because you destroy the character of your political opponent. That's what the main game is, right?
Yeah.
So you introduce this, he had a relationship. Next, what comes out, he probably had an affair. We'll see.
Maybe. I mean, it says here that she was also forced to keep their relationship from her father, who would disown her for fraternizing with a Westerner.
Oh, yeah,
So,
exactly.
so their relationship was completely secret, even from the high-ranking official?
That, I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of what it says there, that they were forced to keep a relationship a secret from her father.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, and, you know, he is kind of like, he was over there doing some, you know, I don't know what he was doing in like some sort of cross program or something.
Yeah.
Nonprofit or something. I don't know. But we'll keep an eye on that. I don't really like want to dive that far into that, but I do have one last story here, dude.
Okay.
This one's super interesting. So apparently there was a real life vampire, or at least it's considered to be this real life vampire. They found this skull or this body with a padlocked like sickle around her neck. And
sickle?
I think around her feet too. Yeah, it's like this thing to hold her body down.
Oh.
So
it's a female?
Yeah, New York Post, real life vampire considered so dangerous that she was padlocked inside of her grave with a sickle at her neck. So it comes to find out she died 350 years ago. And it was first unearthed 2 years ago at a medieval graveyard in Poland. And now they're dubbing her an elite female vampire, dude.
Yeah, her name is Zosia.
Yeah, Zosia.
Zosia.
Yeah.
18 years old, apparently.
Yeah, they had some new illustrations out painting her as this vampiress who, blue eyes, short hair, whatever, right?
How do they know that?
I have no idea.
If it's just
I have no
skulls,
idea.
skull and bones, how do they have new illustrations of what the 18-year-old vampires might have looked like? Suggesting it had fair skin, blue eyes, and short hair.
Yeah,
you would never know
if you scroll down in that article, you'll see the picture.
Oh, of what they came up with?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's good old AI for you, you know?
Okay.
There's the vampire. I want to suck your wiener. I'm in your blood.
She looks... I mean, she does have, like, kind of a bitch face.
Yep. RBF, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Is there fangs?
Well, so there's a Tom Cruise tooth, dude.
There is a Tom... Oh, yeah, there is. Fuck.
There's a Tom Cruise tooth just sticking straight up.
Big-ass tooth right in the middle of a face.
Yeah, so they're thinking that that's the fang. That's her Wang Fang, dude.
She was the real Fang Fang.
Yeah. Wang Fang. I sucked your Wang Fang.
So the only reason they're this Zosa also laid to rest with a silk cap on her head, which signifies that she was of high social status.
Exactly, right? So like she had this silk thing over her head. They found it over her skull. And I guess back then they would do that with high social status figures. But this next part, of the other 100 or so skeletons at the gravesite, Zosia was covered with a sickle across her neck and a giant padlock on her toe. Her toe! Single toe.
What?
And they were saying that this is a professor who led the research on this Zosia. She said, quote, "It can be assumed that for some reason those burying the woman were afraid that she would rise from the grave. Perhaps they feared that she was a vampire." And they believe that the sickle and the padlock were fitted to the corpse as a form of double protection. That was what they used, double protection. It's just like wearing two condoms,
Yeah, I guess. How would it just a lock around the toe? Is it like a holy lock?
I don't know. Like a chastity belt or something, Is that how they mated back in Poland?
No, did they say like a I don't know how, unless there's like some kind of
Well, let's keep on reading here.
Religious
show the
thing
picture, because this is the skeleton with the sickle around her neck. And you can clearly see the sickle sticking out of the ground. It's this big ass sickle. I mean, that is very strange. Unless it was like some sort of, because if she was high class, maybe this was something like a shroud or something that they buried her in. I don't know.
Oh, there's like the lock thing, huh?
On her toe?
Yeah, right there. Is that the lock on her toe?
What's
or
that
around her
say?
foot? So
This
it's
is
found with
saying-
a padlock attached to her big toe, yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I'm
That's
just
weird.
saying.
How tall was
Reading-
it? How tall was
Reading
this
more
bitch?
into this, dude, it's like there was an abnormality. So there was something here. The abnormality, there was something with her breastbone. They found an abnormality in Zosia's breastbone.
There was a wooden stake in it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Nick Cage was
This
found
is
next.
abnormal.
Yeah, they're saying that there might have been some physical deformity that caused her great pain and marked this person to others in a negative way. So she's like the hunchback of Notre Dame back then, Oh, man.
How
Maybe
do we know?
she was sacrificed. they
so
were saying.
obviously the lock on the foot or whatever is very obvious. There's a lock there. There's a lock on her foot. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how do you know that this isn't part of the casket? and it's not like a sickle thing. You know, like where the casket. I don't know what caskets look like 350 years ago, but
Like it just decayed. And,
yeah, but like, is there like a seam where like maybe the head part would open and then there would be the body part that open?
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like just like something that they put her in and it just fell apart, you know?
But I mean, I'm not even 100% sure what a sickle is.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, when you think of death, the black robe, and he's carrying that stick with that blade at the end.
Oh yeah, it's the weapon.
That's
thing.
the sickle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Sling blade, you know what I mean?
So why would that be on? Like they chopped her head off and left it there?
No, so they put it over her head to restrain her body to get back up. And that's what people are saying is like they padlocked her toe and they put a thing over her neck so that way if she were to rise from the dead, I guess it would cut her head off, right?
Yeah.
This is saying with the Swedish-Polish wars ensuing during that time of her death, researchers believe it's possible that Zosia was Swedish and considered an unwanted outsider.
Oh.
And they go on to say about 30 of the 100 graves were found with signs of being restrained, which ultimately led to the site's nickname, quote, Field of Vampires.
Okay, so this is where it's weird. I feel like there's a whole section that they thought they were all vampires.
I guess, dude.
Why
Or,
else would they have
you know
a
what I was
thing
thinking?
called Field of Vampires unless they thought everyone that they buried in that spot they were
I
all
bet
fucking
you
vampires.
they were like, if there was a war going on, they were probably just like prisoners of war, dude, and they just died there.
What
That
if
was
it-
like their prison.
What if it was a war against vampires?
Now we're talking. Okay.
I mean, and that was like a battle burial.
It could have been. You know, like instead of a crucifix, you have this.
I've
frickin'
been
sling
saying
blade
this
neck.
for a long time, dude. That all this kind of shit, wizards, warlocks, vampires, gargoyles. Somebody just doesn't make that shit up. I'm a firm believer that all of that shit probably existed at one point in one form or another.
Yeah. And like they're saying, I've heard this before. You look at like the Chinese zodiac, they're all animals that exist except for the dragon. So it's like, did a dragon actually exist at some point?
I believe so.
Fire breather?
I don't know about breathing fire. I'm sure you could hook some kind of contraption up to one to make it breathe fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
Blowtorch right out of the mouth.
they're pretty innovative. I mean, they could build pyramids and shit. Why couldn't they make a big lizard breathe fire?
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm, But I mean, like this thing is tricky to me because I feel like this might be like a prisoner of war or like just prisoners where they're basically just sending these people to die. It's more like a death sentence. You know what I mean? Instead of like hanging them up on a cross, you're laying them down, you're burying them.
I kind of want to know if the lock wasn't there and the sickle wasn't there because she was alive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that they were alive and they were locked there and the
Because-
sickle was there to prevent her from getting up.
Maybe they weren't locked anywhere. Maybe they just attached that stuff. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it wasn't just
dude.
around her big toe. Maybe it was like there was something around her feet.
Yeah, this is saying some bodies were turned face down, some were weighed down with stones, and others had coins in their mouths, which is like a typical, passing on. This is saying ways to protect against the return of the dead include cutting off the head or legs, placing the deceased face down to bite into the ground. I'd never do that. Burning them and smashing them with a stone. This is what that expert told the Daily Mail. And so, like, the fact that Zosia has this sickle over her neck suggests that they were fearing that, I don't know, maybe she'd come back.
I wonder if there was like any remnants of actual like caskets or sarcophaguses or whatever, or if they were all just buried in the ground. Like it was
Well,
just a
look at the bottom photo. go down to the very bottom. You see like the body.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Just buried still
Yeah,
in the ground.
they're not in something. It just looks like they're in the ground, right?
Exactly. So she definitely was put 6 feet deep. I don't know if that's 6 feet, but she was put down below the ground level, and that sickle was put over her body. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is weird.
This does say that Eastern Europeans initially became fearful of vampires in the 11th century, believing that some people who died would claw their way out of the grave as blood-sucking monsters that terrified the living.
Yeah, but how do you just all of a sudden become fearful of this?
I know. That's like, where do these stories come from? That's what I'm saying. Like you were saying, something has to be the trigger there, and it has to be something of truth, or people
something had
be
to
afraid of it.
Something either was real at some level, or something freak weird thing had to have happened and word spread, and now everyone's worried about it. Something, because a lot of this shit, I just don't. You're just not gonna make this stuff up. I mean, I understand like back in those times, like there was a lot of people using hallucinogen shit.
Well, that, and you'd have like syphilis and diseases that would cause like brain rot, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just maybe I'm thinking she was a vampire, and then to be grouped in with a bunch of people that were all kind of like put in this way on purpose because they didn't want them coming back. Like,
yeah, it's almost like the Salem witch trial. You wonder, like, were some of those women witches? Because like I always thought that was like religious nut jobs being overly enthusiastic on like, hey, we got to prove our point to this community that these women were actually witches, but they just killed the women, to prove a point.
How many bodies did they find? About
100.
100 graves. 30 of the 100 graves found with signs of being restrained.
Yeah. And if you play through that video, you don't have to like play the audio or anything. It kind of shows you the bones and the layout, and there's a guy showing you the padlock with the lock that went over her big toe.
Oh yeah.
Around like 30 seconds or so. Look at that. That is what they put over her big toe, people.
I mean,
on her left foot.
That's not
very specific.
That's pretty big for a toe.
But it's like, I never thought about putting, like, it's usually like the ankle, an ankle bracelet, putting a padlock and a lock on somebody's big toe. That's pretty unique.
That is unique. Which makes me wonder if there wasn't something else and it wasn't just on the toe.
Well, and why the toe? Is there something specific about the toe?
Well, maybe it wasn't
removed?
just the toe. Maybe that's where it ended up being, around the bone, but it was actually holding something else together.
Oh, you think it was like originally around the ankle and then slowly
I don't know.
slipped?
Or maybe it was around something that was holding the feet together.
Oh,
and then as that deteriorated, it kind of fell over the bone of the toe or something. I don't know. Unless it's some kind of weird fucking ritualistic thing that, or like some kind of wives' tale, like this is what we have to do to keep them in the ground. Put
That's
it
what I'm
around
thinking,
the big
dude.
toe.
Right? Like something about a toe, because like I know in certain like Jewish communities or Yiddish or whatever, they do have like these kind of, may your head grow in the ground like an onion, or they have to do these certain things when people die. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was like whenever I see vampire real life, I'm going, okay, this interests me. It's about that time. Halloween's coming.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So we might come with some stories next time on the next show.
Oh, we got a little I don't know what it is, on a rant from old Danielson.
Ooh, Rumble rant.
Thanks, Ben. He says, Greg, what are you drinking?
Oh, I was drinking some eggnog with some Kahlua and a little bit of coffee.
I bought some eggnog too.
Yeah.
I drank half the fucking thing last night.
Eggnog is good. Eggnog is good. It is like one of those. It is like, some people think that it's so disgusting where they're like, dude, that's like you're a grandpa. You're drinking eggnog? Come on.
No, dude. It's like drinking, I don't even know how to describe it. It's sweet, It's super,
It's Christmas.
It's super
like-
filling.
It's like liquid Christmas.
Liquid Christmas. There you go.
Mhm.
Liquid holiday drink.
Yeah, it just makes me think of the holiday. I'm like, dude, yes, it makes me happy every time it comes to my mouth and I put that creamy liquid all over my lips.
You get that.
I get a big smile on my face.
Fat nog stash.
Yeah, I'm like Tim Wall staring at a Chinese woman. You know, I'm just super freaking pumped.
Give me that wang.
Yeah, give me that wang, Timmy. Yeah. Anyway.
God.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a little shorter episode tonight. So I think I'm gonna have to bounce here.
Yeah. So what do you think? To end it, what do you think that's an actual vampire?
Dude, it might be. Because the time, the area, you know, like medieval, all this stuff, and the fact that there were so many of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of them in the same area, right?
Yeah,
I'm
so
thinking.
I don't know.
I'm thinking it was like some kind of battle. They went to kill off the vampires, like they were an issue, and it was a battle royale of vampire versus human.
Yeah, it was a clan of them.
What do you call like a group of vampires? Like a flock? Is it a flock of vampires?
Bloodsuckers?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Thank you guys. It's a shorter episode tonight. We wish you all the best. Thank you guys for all the support. We'll see you guys Wednesday, the night before Halloween. All right, good night, guys.
Good night.